Tonight, Ashland's police chief is fighting back after being placed on administrative leave.
Plus, House Republicans on Capitol Hill are still in the hunt for a new speaker. We've got a closer look at who's in the running.
And 2 Columbia high schools are leveling up their esports programs. This is KOMU 8 News at 10.
Coverage you can count on. KOMU 8 News starts now.
Well, we had some sunny skies here in Columbia today, but they might not be sticking around for long. Good evening, everyone. I'm Emily Spain.
And I'm Evie Allen. It actually was a very beautiful day. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Our first alert weather team is tracking rain chances for us tomorrow. And I know that we had been in a drought for a while, so I know this rain is pretty needed, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah, Evie, Emily, we need this rain. We're almost 2 inches below average for the month, 4 inches below average for the season, 6 inches below average for the year. So we need moisture, and we get an opportunity for that, particularly as we go through the day tomorrow. Mostly dry in the morning, midday hours, but a few spot showers possible. Chances increasing in the afternoon. Temperatures cooler tomorrow, making it to the middle 70s. That moisture that's coming our way currently across Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas. We have this warm front move through today that helped boost our temperatures to the 80s. Through the night, cloud cover is going to be building. Showers still off to our south. We'll see that activity again very isolated through the morning, but by the afternoon, evening, that's where this rain chance looks to become a little more widespread for us here in mid-Missouri. So chances starting low, increasing by the afternoon and evening hours. In total, we're looking at about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain, but there are many, many more opportunities in the forecast over the next 8 days. We'll detail that and preview Halloween coming up.
All right, thank you, Matt. Well, the city of Ashland faces more legal battles with its police department.
After being on administrative leave since July and having a 50% pay cut, Ashland Police Chief Gabe Edwards is suing the city due to wrongful discharge and is demanding a jury trial. Edwards claims his suspension came immediately after the mayor and board of aldermen learned that he made social media posts during the 2022 city elections about the mayor's criminal past. In the lawsuit, Edwards claims he was wrongfully discharged from his position. He's also seeking compensation for economic harm, including lost wages, emotional distress, and damage to reputation. Edwards alleges the city is in violation of the 14th Amendment by violating his right to be heard regarding the allegations against him and by depriving him of his property without due process. Edwards is also demanding a jury trial for this case. KOMU 8 News reached out to the city of Ashland and Edwards' attorney but received no response. We'll keep you updated on this case as it continues to develop. And from this, the former chief's lawsuit comes just a week after a former police officer sued the city of Ashland. Former officer Tom Whitener claims he was wrongfully terminated after he accused the chief of misconduct. That allegedly included using restricted databases to publish embarrassing information. The chief is also accused of using racial slurs as well as keeping his wife and friends' names on the department's roster so they'd be able to carry concealed weapons.
Well, we have an update on a crash we first reported on last night. 2 people are dead and 1 injured after a head-on collision on Highway 54 in Mexico. Police say it happened around 7 when one car crossed the center line and struck the other. Both drivers died in the crash and 1 passenger is at University Hospital. The crash closed the road for about 2 hours. A local student group wants to make Columbia a sanctuary city. That means it would become increasingly difficult for state and federal laws to impact the LGBTQ community inside city limits. MU's branch of Young Democratic Socialists of America met with several groups to discuss sanctuary status. It says this has been a goal since Kansas City declared itself a sanctuary city in May. For one member of YDSA, the need is urgent.
Given all the restrictions this past legislative session by the Attorney General through all these different institutions in Missouri, we thought it was necessary that our city do something to protect its residents.
YDSA plans to speak at City Council's public forum on November 6th and make a proposal on agenda item by November 20th. U.S. House Republicans are still without a speaker. A closed-door candidate forum was held earlier tonight where Speaker hopefuls made their pitch for the seat.
KOMU Bates Grant Green has the latest on the efforts to replace former Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Grant.
Emily, these are the 8 candidates that are currently in the running. A nominee must secure 217 votes on the House floor to be elected. Republicans currently make up 221 seats but remain divided over the issue. It's now been 20 days since Representative Kevin McCarthy was kicked out as Speaker of the House. Republicans Steve Scalise and Jim Jordan have backed out entirely. Scalise withdrew due to a lack of support for his bid, and Jordan failed to get enough votes or enough support after 3 different votes. The former Speaker of the House says the struggle for a new Speaker is not a good look.
This is embarrassing for the Republican Party, it's embarrassing for the nation, and we need to look at one another and solve the problem.
An internal vote will occur at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. The winner after 3 rounds of voting will be the next nominee to be voted on from the floor. In the studio, Grant Green, KOMU 8 News.
Now to the latest developments on the Israel-Hamas war in Egypt. Hamas released 2 hostages.
Meanwhile, in Gaza, overnight strikes from Israel killed more than 430 people, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. That includes nearly 200 children. Local hospitals are overwhelmed with fuel and medical supplies in a shortage. Since the start of the war, Israel cut off electricity, fuel, food, and water in Gaza. The United Nations says more than 60% of primary care facilities are shut down. Hospitals in Gaza also on the brink of collapse because of the shortage of power, medicine, equipment, and specialized personnel. A surgeon in Gaza shared more about the current situation.
We are just waiting for the electricity to run out with the fuel, and then that will be the death throw of the health system. And without electricity, this hospital will just be a mass grave.
The U.S. is urging Israel to delay its possible ground invasion of Gaza. Meanwhile, the International Court of Justice announced it will hold public hearings on the legal consequences of Israel's policies and practices in occupied Palestinian territories. This decision follows a request made last year by the United Nations General Assembly. The hearings will consider the rules and principles of international law. That includes the Charter of the United Nations, international humanitarian law, and international human rights law.
Here in the U.S., the auto workers' strike is intensifying. In a surprise move today, the United Auto Workers Union ordered 6,800 workers to walk out of a Stellantis plant in Metro Detroit. This marks the second time in recent days the UAW has ordered a surprise strike at a high-profile facility. The union says Stellantis has the worst proposal on the table as negotiations continue. The UAW president says he still stands strong with auto workers.
It's time the working class gets their fair share and the corporate class pays up. That's it. They keep taking everything and the workers keep going further and further behind. Those days are done.
As of now, more than 40,000 auto workers are on the picket line as the strike enters its 6th week. A CNN poll last week showed more than 3/4 of Americans support the auto workers. Closer to home, the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education has awarded the first ever state-funded grant to 125 local schools. The grant will fund the Grow Your Own program to help recruit high school students into a career in education on a local level. The South Callaway R2 School District is one of the recipients of that award. District leaders say they have been short teachers since the pandemic. They say the grant of $10,000 will help attract local high school students to pursue a career in education in their own community.
Our teachers are going to, the ones who stay with us are going to be from our community because they want to come back and give back to the community that gave to them.
The grant will also go towards dual credit courses, scholarships for high school students, and internships, as well as hiring more substitutes. Well, 2 Columbia schools got grant money for their athletics programs today. Rockbridge and Battle High School esports programs received almost $37,000 for new equipment.
KOMU Bates, my Kitchens attended that event today, and my faculty and students, they were very grateful for this.
The grant money was given by the Columbia Public Schools Foundation. The 2 high schools will split that grant money, and organizers say the amount each program will receive will change the future of esports for coming students forever.
Thank you all.
Maybe they're not an athlete, like you see an athlete on the field.
These aren't just any athletes.
They're an athlete in a different way.
They're esport gamers. Currently, gamers at Battle High School have to communicate online while they play.
They're all on Discord and stuff like that, and we all get on, we all play, we all joke around.
And now, that is a thing of the past.
And I think with the room now that we're getting, we'll be able to communicate more, we'll be able to play more together, we'll be able to become more of like a group in a team.
This grant money ensures all students will be on a similar playing field.
It's important to have a room like this because a lot of the kids that want to compete don't have the internet at home to compete or the other equipment required.
Now, those worries are no more.
Having a space at a school like Rockbridge or Battle will allow them to be able to do that.
After another Columbia high school received money in 2019,
the Hickman Esports program has been a tremendous success.
Rockbridge and Battle High School students are hopeful for the same. CPSF says after the success they saw with Hickman after giving them grant money back in 2019, it was only right to assist Rockbridge and Battle as well. In the studio, Maya Kitchens, KOMU 8 News.
Thank you, Maya. Coming up, a historic diner from the 90s makes its way to Missouri.
And later, how the True Falls Film Fest is recovering from last month's fire.
And temperatures today made it to 84 degrees. No rainfall, but more is on the way. We're going to talk about our rain chances for the week ahead coming up.